Hello from Bali. This is a podcast pigeon of peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about efficient pupil, and let's start with the definition.
Efficient people, this person which think about future. If you want to have attestat after graduating the school, if you want to have diploma after you finish the university, then you will start to find your job, and you sadly will understand that you have a huge amount of competitors. But if you would be efficient people, you will make several steps. First, you will decide that you will get just best mark, like 5 or in another scale. Second, you will listen very attentively to the teacher. Do not spend time to do your homework. By the way, homework, it was a punishment. So it was a special way how to make life of non-disciplined pupil worse. By the way, in private schools in Moscow, in Tel Aviv, in New York, there are no homework. They will sit on lectures. They will sit, for example, 2 hours after lectures. But when you will go home, you have empty backpack and you have no task at all. Third, you will think how to take part in the competitions. For example, in Russia and in Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Belarus, there is a name like Olympiad, subject Olympiad,
Yeah.
like physics, math, and literature, and so on. If you will take part in, you will be granted by good marks, and you will be given some extra books. When I was in school, I was going to all Olympiads, but it was a small town, and after several years, I got all best school books, and it was much easier to be winner. The same behavior I was shown in institute, and I was loved by teachers. And last one, efficient people will have a good discipline. If you will be chief in your class, in your group, in your, I don't know, stream, then you will be able to talk with mature people, for example, like rector, like dean, and some other, and they will show you how to manage other people.
Now we'll try to actually combine two questions into one. So from which age actually the pupil or the kid will make a decision that they do want to be efficient? Maybe they will have, like some definition of the efficiency. So this is the first question. And whether it's the adult's duty or, I don't know, maybe initiative in order to actually tell them, hey, this is how you want to probably, this is who you want to be in life, and this is how you're gonna go ahead with this. So how about, like age and the realization of the path?
If we'll talk about age, I'm quite convinced it could be like 10 or 11 years old. The reason why, because at this time, some part of the brain will grow up. At age of 11, usually in all children's heads will be created so-called, I know how to say, forehead part of brain, мозговые части мозга, forehead part of brain.
Or prefrontal cortex, maybe.
Maybe. At this time, you will start to think in abstract way. So not about exact apple or onion. You will think about just any apple or any onion. And second answer would be like this. If you will be forced by someone who is adult, and this person would talk with you about efficiency, you wouldn't believe. By the way, in Russian language, there is a joke. Efficient manager has one great advantage. He, I know how to say, завязывает шнурки в лифте.
Okay, maybe he's lacing out in the elevator.
In elevator and nothing more. When we talk about efficiency, it depends what you think about efficiency. Some people, for example, in Kazakhstan, they live so far from the school that they should slightly run to be in time. Or, for example, some people in other countries, like in Canada, they sometimes using, I don't know how to say, снегоходы.
Snow piercers, probably.
maybe snow piercers. So they should use some special techniques or some special manner how to get in time. And if you will show the reason to be efficient, for example, you will show to your kid that you are a successful man or woman, you are respected one, and everyone would treat you with respect, then this kid would think, okay, I want to do the same. And maybe one more point, maybe you should show some kind of sport, maybe fighting one. And this would help or a girl or boy to be well protected by himself.
When I was in Singapore, there was a red dot design museum, and there they would have like at one of the exhibition, they would have like a picture of the day over different professions. So I was thinking, okay, maybe it's may or may not applicable for the efficient people as well. So if you would try to, like look retrospectively or like maybe introspectively into their days, how exactly, like it will be dedicated, whether it will be having like any segments or maybe it's completely not applicable to them.
When you will talk about efficient people, you should understand that this person could not live by itself. It should fulfill task which is given by parents and teachers. And first, you should use something like a calendar to put all the tasks for your week. And you should understand that if you will just sitting on the table and write these exercises or assess, you will be very lean and you will be without physical exercises. So you should use like a knife to spread the butter on the bread. All those tasks you should be using in a different way during the week. For example, you will stay like 6 or 7 hours in a school. Then, for example, you will have lunch like 30 or 40 minutes. Then you will go for a walk to play football, to fish, or to make something else. And then 2 or 3 hours you will sit with books and with your exercises. And then you also would have also some physical trainings. And it is not easy to organize your day, much easier to organize your week. For example, if you are not able today go to the gym, you will go tomorrow. By the way, there is a joke in Russian. One man is saying to another, each day when I miss my training, I would add to another day 10 more kilometers to run. And tomorrow I will run like several thousand kilometers.
Well, this is a funny joke indeed. And obviously, when we speak about kid who is just like trying or want to be efficient, he's also might be, like surrounding by other kids who definitely, for sure, might be having like a different affections to them, whether it's like their hobbies or the way they speak or the way they think or something else. So how to actually make sure that, like whatever is affecting this guy or a girl is actually will be to their benefits and not vice versa.
You should use some kind of stimulus. For example, my father was asking me about my homework each evening, and I was not allowed to go to play on the ground or on the street without showing him. I don't know how to say dnevnik, diary.
Diary.
And my copybooks. But after I got all 5 marks, I was like a free man, and I understand that if I will get like several best mark in my diary, I am free to go. Second, it was from my mother, and she was often asked me, do I read some additional book? And I was not liking to spend this time to read some classic, but then I realized that it makes my mother happy. When you are a puppy, you could live by your own, but you will become a cat. All dogs are loved by owners much more than cat. Why? Because a puppy spends some time in mode or regime which is offered by an owner. Your parents is your owners. So if they want to walk with you, to read with you, to play with you, you should make them happy. And you should understand this like your job. And then you will have a free time.
And when it comes to the technology as well, because obviously, like we might be speaking about how kids might be get distracted with the games, etc. But anyways, like we're living in the world which is full of technology. So how to efficiently make technology and the kid who wants to be efficient good friends, so that he wouldn't be abusing it, but rather he would just like use it as a good tool in order to achieve what he or she wants.
I will give you example of one family which I like, but I couldn't imagine I would live in such a way. This family has 5 kids, and they live in a very huge home in the middle of the Moscow, and they have one special cabinet to share. They have just one computer, and they have an agreement. And every member of the family has like 2 hours of the computer. And for example, if I'm going out, I could transfer this time to you, but you will have your budget, and sometime I would ask you to give it back first. Second, they have just one printer for 2 floors and for 7 person, and they have special paper. Okay, something like this. This evening we will print documents, and they will write short description. I would print my coursework because I should give it to my teacher tomorrow, and something like this. And then before entering this regime to print everything, they make like small pitches. Why should I make it right now? And sometimes other members of the family will reject. No, you have 3 days in ahead. If you will print this coursework, for example, today, maybe you will find errors and you will reprint it. So spend those 3 days to make all corrections and then print just final result.
Well, I would say it might be a good tactic. Again, and depending on the purpose, and let's actually speak about the purpose as well. Whether it's necessary to, like have some sort of, I would say, it doesn't matter how it will be decorated, but some sort of like a strategic sessions with a kid. Because at my current job, what we're also kind of discussing that, like as a family, you also should have your strategic planning, strategic sessions, no matter how it happens, but like it should be there. So what about the kids?
I know the family, and mother is a quite senior consultant, and father was director of huge cinema network in Moscow. And several years ago, they invited me to a family strategic meeting. I was so amused. What are you having? You have your strategic evening, strategic plan? And they, yes, first day we will spend for wife, second for husband, and also we will spend for 1 day for each of our kids. And when I was entering this, I do not know what to do. I take flowers, I take the wine, and I was thinking, what we will do so many times. But suddenly I found they have prepared living room. They have, I don't know how to say, posters with diagrams and something like this. And suddenly I found myself that my brain was boiling because they were asking so many questions about instruments, about books, about concepts, about models. And after this day, I was thinking, I'm missing out so many things in my life because I never did it by myself.
Well, this is funny enough. I do believe at a certain point of time, and again, like I picked it from a different types of the skills that I attended, we also should treat ourselves as a company in whatever way. We should think that, like all of the processes, etc., should be similar to what we have in our corporate lives. Then my last question will be how knowing about efficient kid, efficient pupil would help to make this world a better place.
The main things is you should think about yourself as a constant pupil, вечный,
Permanent.
permanent pupil. So never stop learning. I have comparison like this. For example, you have fat. And when you try to boil it out, it would consume too many energy. But if you will put it on small fire, and it would boil almost forever. So do not allow your brain to become solid fat. Always boil it. In this case, you should learn, and you should be pupil for sport, for books, for everything else.
And we reviewed the skill of efficient pupil and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.